All right, for this next video, we're going to be stretching the front of the shoulders. You can use 2 yoga blocks. That'll work well. You could also put a bench, like a workout bench or a chair, or you could do this on a couch. Anything that would work well for you. We'll show you the position and then you find what works. I'm going to use the yoga blocks and we're going to be in kind of like a child's pose position. So what we're going to do is spread these yoga blocks out a little bit, about a little wider than shoulder width. I'm going to sit back on my hands or on my heels, and then I'm going to relax into it until there's a stretch, and I need to get low enough that I can't lift that arm up. So if I have the yoga blocks flat, that's an option, and I can rest my head on the floor. I could give myself a little more range, turn them on their sides, get a little bit more stretch. If you have a bench that you're doing this on, stack your yoga blocks. You can put your hands on your bench, and then the yoga blocks can be a rest for your forehead. So know your body, know your limits. We're going to go here. I'm going to go vertical. We're going to get settled down in that position. And we're going to start off with some good deep breaths in and out. And I'll talk you through our gains and our trains on this one. So when we do our gains, when we try to gain mobility, we're going to pull the palms or the wrists down into the yoga block towards the floor. We're going to do about 40-50% effort. And that's where we're trying to gain our mobility. When we switch over to the trains, we're going to try to think about lifting the back of the palms up towards the ceiling, but they're not going to move. It's going to be an isometric. That can be a little bit more than 40-50% because we're going to try to really train that new mobility, strengthen in that end range. Now, the only downside to doing it with these yoga blocks like this on the floor is it's going to be hard to take up slack. But what we'll do is when we take up slack, we can shift back a little bit in our position to get a little bit more of a stretch. Or you could do multiple yoga blocks, 1 or 2 yoga blocks. All right, let's go. One more good deep breath in. And we're going to go into our first round of gains. And we're pulling down, tongue on the roof of your mouth, shoulder blades down and back, creates tension. Pulling down towards the floor, about 40-50% effort. And on this, think about your alignment of your neck. Think about keeping your chin tucked. We don't want the neck to be up into that extension where we're hinging on it. So keep it tucked. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go into train. So you're thinking about lifting those arms up. This one is tough. It's getting in that lower trap. You can lightly push your forehead into the floor or those yoga blocks. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, settle in. We could take up some range. Sitting back a little bit. A little bit more of a stretch there. Let's go one more good breath in, and we'll go into our next round. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pulling down into the floor. 40-50% effort. Tongue on the roof of your mouth. Five seconds, and we'll switch to trains. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Think about lifting the palms up. This one is so hard. And not just the palms up, but think about lifting the wrists off of those yoga blocks, off the bench, off the chair. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're going to go one more round. See if you can take up the range a little bit more. Let's go 1 or 2 more breaths. Now, one thing about taking up the range the way we're doing it by sitting back is we're actually creating something called traction, where we're lengthening through those tissues versus forcing that shoulder back, which a lot of times compensations will be arching through the spine. We're going to be able to minimize that this way. So this is a great way to do that. One more big breath in, and we'll go into our last round. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last round of gains. Here we go. Build up to 40-50% effort. Pulling into the blocks towards the floor. Five seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last trains. Think about lifting the wrists, the arms up, away from the floor, towards the ceiling. Ten more seconds. Keep going. Keep fighting. Those shoulder blades down and back. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, ease up. All right, we're going to do some lift-offs here. So we're going to have to come back on the range a little bit to where you have range available to lift an arm up. I actually have to lower these blocks to do that. And it's going to be really difficult to do both at the same time. So we're going to do one at a time here. All right, so once you get settled in, what we'll do is to create some tension. We're going to do the right arm first. The left arm can push into that block, down into the block. That way we create some tension, which will help engage the core to where we can lift off a little bit better. Otherwise, the tendency is going to want to lift the trunk. All right, so one more deep breath in and out. Go ahead and start to push that left arm down. And we're going to do 10 lift-offs on the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Hold this one. Keep it up there. This is such a hard position to hold. Keep your chin tucked down. Don't let the neck arch up. We don't want to hinge at the neck. This is really good for your trunk, for your neck stabilizers. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to do that same thing on the left. We're going to create tension by pushing the right hand down into the block. Go ahead and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start to push that right arm, and then we lift off on the left. 10 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. Hold. Keep it up there. Remember, this is where we're strengthening. We're really building strength into the end range. We're retraining the brain. the body that we've got this new mobility. Does us no good to gain mobility but not retrain it? That's what we're doing here. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. You can ease out of that. Ooh. All right. Great job.